Leave It to Psmith by P.G. Wodehouse. Read by Jonathan Cecil. Chapter 1. Dark Plottings at Blandings Castle. 1. At the open window of the great library of Blandings Castle, drooping like a wet sock, as was his habit when he had nothing to prop his spine against, the Earl of Emsworth, that amiable and bone-headed peer, stood gazing out over his domain. It was a lovely morning, and the air was fragrant with gentle summer scents. Yet in his lordship's pale blue eyes there was a look of melancholy. His brow was furrowed, his mouth peevish, and this was all the more strange, in that he was normally as happy as only a fluffy-minded man with excellent health and a large income can be. A writer, describing Blandings Castle in a magazine article, had once said, "Tiny mosses have grown in the cavities of the stones until, viewed near at hand, the place seems shaggy with vegetation." It would not have been a bad description of the proprietor. 50-odd years of serene and unruffled placidity had given Lord Emsworth a curiously moss-covered look. Very few things had the power to disturb him. Even his younger son, the Honorable Freddie Threepwood, could only do it occasionally. Yet now he was sad. And, not to make a mystery of it any longer, the reason of his sorrow was the fact that he'd mislaid his glasses, and without them was as blind, to use his own neat simile, as a bat. He was keenly aware of the sunshine that poured down on his gardens, and was yearning to pop out and potter among the flowers he loved. But no man, Poppy never so wisely, can hope to potter with any good result if the world is a mere blur. The door behind him opened, and Beach the butler entered, a dignified procession of one. "Who's that?" inquired Lord Emsworth, spinning on his axis.
"It is I, your lordship, Beach."
"Have you found them?"
"Not yet, your lordship,"
sighed the butler.
"You can't have looked." "I have searched assiduously, your lordship, but without avail. Thomas and Charles also announce non-success. Stokes has not yet made his report." "Ah, I am redispatching Thomas and Charles to your lordship's bedroom," said the master of the hunt. "I trust that their efforts will be rewarded."
Beach withdrew, and Lord Emsworth turned to the window again. The scene that spread itself beneath him, though he was unfortunately not able to see it, was a singularly beautiful one. For the castle, which is one of the oldest inhabited houses in England, stands upon a knoll of rising ground at the southern end of the celebrated Vale of Blandings in the county of Shropshire. Away in the blue distance, wooded hills ran down to where the Severn gleamed like an unsheathed sword, while up from the river, rolling parkland, mounting and dipping, surged in a green wave almost to the castle walls, breaking on the terraces in a many-coloured flurry of flowers as it reached the spot where the province of Angus McAllister, his lordship's head gardener, began. The day being June the 30th, which is the very high tide time of summer flowers, the immediate neighbourhood of the castle was ablaze with roses, pinks, pansies, carnations, hollyhocks, columbines, larkspurs, London pride, Canterbury bells, and a multitude of other choice blooms of which only Angus could have told you the names. A conscientious man was Angus, and in spite of being a good deal hampered by Lord Emsworth's amateur assistance, he showed excellent results in his department. In his beds there was much at which to point with pride, little to view with concern. Scarcely had Beach removed himself when Lord Emsworth was called upon to turn again. The door had opened for the second time, and a young man in a beautifully cut suit of grey flannel was standing in the doorway. He had a long and vacant face, topped by shining hair brushed back and heavily brilliantined after the prevailing mode, and he was standing on one leg. For Freddie Threepwood was seldom completely at his ease in his parents' presence. "Hello, Governor."
"Well, Frederick?"
It would be paltering with the truth to say that Lord Emsworth's greeting was a warm one. It lacked the note of true affection. A few weeks before, he had had to pay a matter of £500